Hello motherfucker, and welcome to today's video. I will be showing, sharing, revealing my favorite sources of information that do not include the fucking internet. These are my babies, this is brain food, I love this, oh my fucking god. This is my Gemini South Node collection up until now. I wish to collect more. Test. Hello. I guess this is better. Welcome. This is my Virgo Moon not knowing how to Virgo, but that is structured, so who gives a shit? I'm just a little bit chaotic, but that's because I have a Virgo Pisces interception. Learning astrology from online sources can be very interesting, but also full of shit. When I started learning astrology, I began with courses from my mom, actually. When I was in the womb, so when I was a fetus, she was studying astrology, and probably I absorbed some of the interest and the passion for it. So I kind of continued where she left off. So that's what I began with years ago. I guess I was 16 at that time. And throughout the years, I have purchased, I guess, 2 other courses. One was good, the other one was shit, because it was like a really fucked up, unstructured mixture of both Western and Vedic astrology, like... My brain glitched. There were also lots of spelling errors, but yeah, probably I make spelling errors too because dyslexia. So eventually I started purchasing books. Most of them are secondhand. Recycle. But also when you search in the secondhand section, there is a high chance of discovering incredibly cool books. So that's my first, I guess, tip. Because that's also how you will find old books, which I'm a huge fan of. Alrighty, this is the first book. This is my absolute favorite one. This is Astrological Rulerships. This is like a dictionary. This is Virgo Moon approved. Everything is structured, alphabetically ordered. I love this. This one, yeah, sorry, I wrote my fucking website name on it. This book is by Hajo, Geurink, if I pronounce that correctly. But as you can see, this is a thick motherfucker. It's full of keywords. It's amazing. This is a brilliant piece of work. So it's structured by alphabetical order. It's structured by planets. It's structured by signs. And it's structured by houses. This is a must-have, you guys. The next one is actually an author, which is Mellie Uyldert. But her wisdom and insight is very inspirational. She also wrote a book, and it's called The Rhythm of Life. And that book actually taught me that coffee has the same amount of acid as urine. So that was really interesting. But these are 3 books by her. This one is just astrology. Also, I took off the original cover because it was annoying me. Astrology 1. And here she covers the basics, basically. Very insightful because she's also the astrologer whom I learned from that Jupiter signifies intuition. For example, if your Jupiter is unafflicted, the intuition is clean. This book has a lot of chapters, actually. This is in-depth astrology. So what is the context? Cosmology, astrology and astronomy, the astrological thinking, as above, so below, free will, coincidence, rhythms, such as the rhythm of 7 years, which is Saturn. Like every 7 years, Saturn makes a square. That's also the reason why relationships tend to break or have a very fragile moment after 7 years. It's Saturn. Another book, Medical Astrology, very interesting. One of the things that I learned from this book is that Jupiter in the signs shows us how we can heal, because Jupiter is also the great benefic. She discusses the afflictions of the planets. She discusses diseases, and then seen from an astrological perspective. So this is actually, this is medical astrology. And this one is about the aspects. One thing that I learned from this book is that if you have the moon trine to Mars, if I'm not mistaken, then the body has the right amount of, how do you say, antibodies? Is that the way how you call that in English? Little cute soldiers to fight off the infection. Her focus is very much onto health. So if you're interested in that, in learning more about medical astrology, I would advise Mellie Uyldert. Talking about medical astrology, this one is a really good book. It's Classical Medical Astrology by Oscar Hofman. I learned a shit ton out of this book. This book also teaches how to use horary to define what disease someone is struggling with, or like using Hawaii for medical stuff. It's very interesting, a very good read. It talks about how you make a diagnosis. It also talks about the temperaments. Hi. I think that's also a common thing in medical astrology, is that they talk about the temperaments, such as melancholic. And there are also lots of good examples in this book. This was an eye-opener when I purchased this one. The Lunar Nodes in Astrology. But then some decent information on it. These 3 books. The first one is very much relationship focused. Cosmic Love, and that's actually the title that drew me to buy this one. And it's by Jan Spiller. I guess it's a she. It's a she. But she talks about the North Node in the signs, not necessarily in the houses. But if she talks about the houses, it's about the house overlay and synastry. She explains what the nodal position in the houses mean. Like, for example, someone their North Node in your 12th house, that's actually the reason why they are in your life. And the South Node is what's in the past, of course. What I learned from this book is that wherever someone's North Node sits is the area of life where you can ask advice from this person. So, for example, if someone has their North Node in your 7th house, fucking ask relationship advice to this person. She also covers the nodal conjunctions, either North or South Node in synastry, and what it means. It's a very inspirational and insightful book. I absolutely recommend this one. Down-to-earth relationship advice from the science of the heavens.
Love it.
The Astrologer's Notebook. It's thin, but it has very good content. And what I really like is that this author has a way of writing that's kind of reality slapping. And I'm a huge fan of such things. For example, there is a chapter, Nodal Signs and the Yeah, but dialogues. I love this one. Because, you know, the North Node is everything beyond our comfort zone. And we tend to say shit like,
yeah, but I'm not gonna do that because...
So this is basically some more information and insight and teachings on the nodes. Briefly discussed, but with decent information that you can work with. And it's by Donna van Toen. The next one has a really cute title, Symbols of the Soul. And this is basically covering karmic astrology, talking about the lunar nodes, but also aspects with the lunar nodes, such as Pluto, Saturn, or the outer planets, and the type of karma that you brought into this life from the past.
Examples and shit.
The content.
The soul's plan. The life task and the lessons. The evolution of the signs. The role and origin of aspects in the chart. The moon.
The psycho-spiritual approach. It's a good book, basically. If you want to learn more about past lives, this one. Highly recommend. By Gina Lake. Eclipses. Interpreting the Eclipses. By Robert Carl Jansky. This book made me aware of the Sarios series or cycles, which I still don't get shit of. And it's probably very important that you know what the fuck those are, because it's like the repeating cycle of eclipses. This book brought to my attention something very interesting, which is the prenatal eclipse point. Once I discovered that, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Boom, shit, what the fuck? It's basically a very sensitive point in your chart that acts like an additional planet. So that means whenever it's activated by transit, or you have a prenatal eclipse return, which can also happen, by the way, then it shakes you up. It's like a turning point. It's a very thin book, but again, the content is really good. It basically covers everything that you need to know, or like bringing certain things to your awareness about the eclipses. Shit. I forgot a very important book when it comes to the lunar nodes. This cute one. It has like fucking unicorns on the cover. Reincarnation and Astrology. Actually, this one, with that last one that I mentioned, this, for Karmic Astrology, this is a very insightful addition to your knowledge about what the fuck the lunar nodes can reveal, basically. In this book, the author also talks about conjunctions of planets to the nodes and what the lessons entail, the shit from past life that you have not achieved or succeeded, blah de blah. I mean, it's thick. It has like 441 pages, which is a good amount of knowledge to absorb. And it's by Bastiaan van Wingerden. Is that a Dutch person? Anyway, this one, highly recommend. Very insightful, inspirational. Yeah. The next one is about Lilith. Once again, a very thick book, 477 pages. Again, a good amount of knowledge to feed yourself. This is spiritual astrology, but very insightful once again. How many times have I said that word at this point? Insightful. This book taught me that Lilith is basically a channel. It is a portal for intuitive messages. But it also connects us to what we used to be in past incarnations, and not just the incarnations of planet Earth. It talks about the issues that occur when your Lilith closes off, because that's inevitably an issue that we, or most of us, deal with at some point, is that, you know, Lilith is frustration and setbacks and just shitty things. It's a challenge. And that's how she closes off. And that's how we kind of lose touch with the intuitive self. But when we're closed off, we tend to attract more shit. Anyway, it's a really good book. The Black Moon. And again, by Bastiaan van Wingerden. That must be a Dutch person. This book talks about Lilith through the houses. Not the signs, but the houses. I think the same author has another book on the signs as well. So a name to remember, basically.
Want to learn more about pain? Oh my god, Chiron.
How do you translate that in English? Chiron, the road to oneness? I think that may be the translation of what the fuck is on the cover. It is by Melanie Reinhart. This book gives an interpretation of Chiron through the houses and signs, but like houses and signs is merged together in like one big chunk of text. So it's not separate. It's not interpreted separately, and it also covers the aspects with other planets and actually the talents that you have, or the tendencies that are present, the wounds. A psychiatrist that I know likes this book. The thing is, this book is very psychological, which I really, really love. But in most cases, there is a lot of, how do you say that, correspondence between astrology and psychology. I see astrology as the visual blueprint of someone's, like the inside of someone's brain. Like you can see the traumas and coping mechanism all over the place. It's interesting. But yeah, actually, this is a very good read. If you want to learn more about Chiron, I think begin with this one. It's also a thick book, 415 pages total. Okay, I did not cover or mention all the books that I took out of my bookshelf, but the ones that I have shared with you are books that I truly love. Books that brought me lots of new knowledge, new perspectives, just really good brain food, and better than the shit that you find online. I'm a huge fan of books. If you like this type of video, then just let me know. Maybe I make another one. Maybe at some point I show every fucking single book that's in my bookshelf. Who knows? If you made it this far, thank you very much. I hope that this was helpful.
Goodbye.